Hi everyone, Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo at Steelers training camp in Latrobe. Our training camp coverage brought to you by Sabinas, Kane, and Gallucci, mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with 83 years of experience. They've got millions of dollars for mesothelioma and asbestos patients over the years. You can go online, sdklaw.com to contact them. Ray, practice was shortened today. They evacuated the field, took the players, the media, and the players off the field for a lightning delay, but most of practice got in. And to me, we saw Aaron Rodgers look very sharp. That touchdown he threw in the 7-shots drill to DK Metcalf, I said earlier, if that were a regular season game, every highlight show in the country would show that play because it was so artistically perfect that you sit there in this quick release and you go, wow. And then he threw a touchdown later to Pat Freiermuth. He looked really sharp in that 7-shot.
Yeah, quite a difference from yesterday too. Although first day of practice, I think you could all give a little bit of a grace period for the offense. But yeah, not only did Rodgers look sharp, I thought the receivers looked sharp in 7-on-7s and in the 2 team periods. I think they completed between Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, they completed 7 for 7 on the first team drill as well. So they didn't have an incomplete pass until play 8.
Yeah, and in that 7-shots drill, Aaron Rodgers had the 2 completions, 2 or 3, and each of the other 2 quarterbacks were 1 for 2, and the offense won. They celebrated as though they beat the Ravens. Of course, that's what they do. But all eyes are going to be on Aaron Rodgers every training camp, every throw, and we're just going to see as camp progresses how Mike Tomlin treats him. At 41 years of age, we saw what he did with Russell Wilson. I know it was different because of the calf injury, but any veteran player, he'll give him days off as they go. And we'll see what happens once they get to the preseason games. I'm curious to see how they'll use him. He won't play in the first game, you can bet. But even like Russell Wilson played in the last 2, even though in his last preseason game he only played, 5 snaps.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with all the new guys, with Jonnu Smith and DK Metcalf, you would think they would want that chemistry to develop as much as they can. So, yeah, I would not expect an extended amount of snaps in the preseason. And I think you're right. In practices, I wouldn't be surprised if he got Saturday or Sunday off to get ready for the first padded practice on Tuesday.
Yeah, and Ray, and to go back with how they used Russell Wilson last year, he also appeared in those 2 games because he played so little leading up to that because of that calf injury. And they will feel as long as he gets reps and snaps and looks in training camp, then they'll probably think, you know what, we're not going to take any chances with our 41-year-old quarterback.
And why would you? Look at what happened last year with Wilson. You don't want to be in that position again. Listen, they went 4-2 with Justin Fields, but they don't want to roll the dice again. They just want to, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, airmail these stars to the regular season, get them working when they can here, but make sure they're healthy for the season.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jonnu Smith yet. Only 2 days. He's been held out. Of course, Isaac Seumalo is on the non-football injury list. Still not sure if that's a bothersome injury or not. But Jonnu Smith is going to be another piece of that offense. I was told yesterday that he will not his role will not interfere with Pat Freiermuth at all. All the scripts that they have and plays they run have his presence has no effect on Pat Freiermuth, and that's why I was curious to see how will that affect it, because they're going to use Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington as the blocker. They're going to be on the field, but Jonnu Smith's going to play an expanded role, or so we're told.
Listen, I think we all know, especially how the first 2 practices unfolded, Aaron Rodgers is going to look to DK Metcalf a lot. That's expected. But as far as second in targets, third, fourth in targets, I think it's going to be Freiermuth, Austin, and Smith, but I don't know which order. So that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. All of them are good players. As you mentioned, Smith has yet to practice yet. He did go through stretching for the 2nd day in a row, so it doesn't seem like it's a serious injury.
Yeah, we've seen Roman Wilson out there, Ray, whenever they've lined up their first team right away and they've gone 3 wides. He's been on the field as well. They're expecting a lot. I don't want to say they're expecting a lot. They're hoping for a lot more production from Calvin Austin, and they really have high hopes for Roman Wilson. They liked this guy last year. They got no look at him in regular season. Preseason, regular season, and even training camp. And they're hoping he can stay healthy so they can fully evaluate this guy. But they like him a lot.
Yeah, Calvin Austin had the first catch in the first team period. Also had about a 30 or 40 yarder later in that team period. I haven't noticed Roman Wilson as much as Calvin Austin.
Right, I agree. He's been out there, but they haven't thrown at him.
He's in there with the 1, so maybe it's the fact that Rodgers is maybe focused on DK Metcalf. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see a little more Roman Wilson as camp goes on.
One of the things that's been very noticeable about the Steelers is the reshaped body of Broderick Jones and the weight loss. And he's moving the left tackle. That's where they always felt he was going to be more natural. He's going to be protecting a 41-year-old quarterback on his blind side, and that's going to be something that once they put on the pads and once we get into the games, that we're going to have, that everyone's going to want to reevaluate.
To me, when practice starts on Tuesday, I know everyone is going to watch backs on backers. I'm going to wander over and watch the one-on-ones with the defensive linemen. How's Broderick Jones fare against Alex Highsmith, against TJ Watt? That's going to be very important in his development. Listen, if he struggles, the first couple of days, it's not going to be the biggest deal, but he has to be much better than he was last season. I thought he was decent as a rookie. I thought he took a step back last season.
Ray, one of the good things about having Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, and this is very noticeable in the 7-on-7 drill, and again, I know it's practice and it's day 2, Broderick Jones doesn't have to do anything. That ball comes out so fast from Aaron Rodgers. It's so predictable in his release time. I bet of the 3 throws he made in 7-on-7, the cumulative time was probably about 2.1 seconds. It comes out of his hand. It doesn't matter if TJ Watt's coming off the edge. Broderick Jones doesn't have to do anything. The ball's out so fast.
Not only is he decisive, but it's just a little flick of the wrist. Even when he throws the ball away, Jerry, little flick of the wrist into the ground, it's pretty to watch.
Yeah, you've heard me say I think he's the greatest thrower of the football I've ever seen. And the other thing the Steelers believe, he's the best quarterback in the league at the line of scrimmage. He knows what he's looking at, and to your point, he's very decisive where he wants to go. Steelers back on the practice field tomorrow, same time, 1:55. Of course, it's open to the public. Same on Sunday, off Monday. They're back on the field Tuesday in pads, and that's what a lot of us, including the coaches, are going to want to see. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit Post-Gazette.com.